Right.
No pain, no strength. As long as we draw breath on this side of eternity, you are going to walk through fire. You're going to walk through pain.
Yeah.
There's going to be hardships. There will be hurdles to jump. There will be mountains to climb. That is inevitable.
Yeah.
Knowing this, the question becomes like, how do we go through these things? Because let's be real. Like, we as humans, we love good stories. We love stories where the hero wins. But in order for the hero to have a triumphant story of victory, there has to be a battle.
Right.
There has to be a fight.
Everybody wants a victory.
Everybody wants a victory.
The battle part, not so much.
I've
been there.
I'm about to say, I speak for myself.
Please, no more battles.
Oh yeah, I'm like, yo, I don't had enough fights. I'm cool for a minute. Like, can I just coast type of thing? And that's not how life works.
That tells me I probably need another one.
That's it. You know what I mean? Like, that's not how life works. And so, like, we all want to be the hero, but we forget, like, in order to be the hero, you got to slay the dragon.
You got to win something. Yeah.
Right? Like, there has to be a monster to fight. There is no triumph without a trial.
Yeah, right.
There is no mountaintop without a valley. And so, like, when I'm thinking about the challenge of this particular season that we walk through, it's like we came out on the other side of it with more strength because of the weight of that situation that was on us. And so true strength is built from weight, from resistance. No resistance, no strength. No pain, no strength. I love it. All right. Well, guys, welcome to the show. It can't be just us.
Yeah. Excited
to have all 3 listeners here. My mom, my sister, and your sister.
Probably. Oh, that's funny.
Oh, man. Yeah. So, what's up? What's going on?
You know, crazy week this week, but great week. I feel like a lot was accomplished, but there's still just a lot of moving parts in our life right now. So, but good. Great word at church today.
Man, Pastor Henry was in his bag.
I know.
If y'all don't got a church and you're looking for something that's going to encourage your soul, y'all need to go listen to the message. What's it called?
Today's?
Yeah.
Oh, Purpose.
Something about your purpose in the story of Joseph, but I promise you, it's good. It's really, really good.
It's in my notes.
It's in my notes somewhere. I can't remember the name of the title, but it encouraged my soul. Really good.
That's funny.
Sweet. Well, let's hop right in. What do you think?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Well, you and I had a conversation around like, okay, like what do you want to talk about? Like, what should we do? And you had a really great idea about talking about the challenges of having a medically challenged child while navigating marriage. And I thought that was brilliant because there are several people out there that walk through similar paths that we did, whether it is a physical challenge with their child or it's a mental one or it's both or whatever the case may be. When you're trying to navigate that on top of like being an awesome spouse and the ups and downs that life throws at you, it can become really, really challenging. And I know for me, and I think you might feel the same way, like when we were pregnant with Cannon, like this was not the journey that I thought we would go on. Right. I did not think it was going to involve test tubes and doctors and surgeries and all of that stuff while not even being married a year yet. Cause like we got engaged, married and pregnant in the same year. And so I didn't even know how to be married yet. And then on top of that, we get this crazy diagnosis with our son. And so I want to talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, we went straight into in sickness or in health because I was very, very sick to start the pregnancy, like sicker than what would be deemed normal.
Sure.
And you were like, what is happening? You're not my wife anymore. My hormones are all kinds of everywhere.
Man.
I remember your mentor, like our pastor that married us, was that conversation is something.
Man, I was so, like I thought I made the biggest mistake in my life.
You left the house. That's the one and only time in our whole marriage that you left our house during an argument. And I was like, this is really over. We just got married.
We just got back from the honeymoon.
Pregnant and he's leaving me.
I was like, yo. I made the biggest mistake in my life marrying this woman.
I think you even
what
said,
do I do?
Is it too late to get an annulment?
I was thinking about it. Yo, I was thinking about it because nobody nobody prepares you
for
this fight that is the hormones.
Yeah.
Like, you are not fighting against your wife. You are fighting against these invisible things that are out to just completely ruin your life.
You're funny.
It was wild, but that's a whole nother. That's a whole nother episode, but that was so funny. My God.
Yeah.
Oh.
I just remember our pastor, like our counselor at the time, laughing so hard.
Oh man, I was mad. I was mad at him.
Welcome to pregnancy and marriage. Yeah. We were like, wait, what?
We literally like, yo, like, I don't know that this is gonna work.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, what's going on? And we tell him, like, man, like, she's this and that. Like, by the way, we're pregnant. And
they fall out of their seat laughing.
And they were rolling on the floor laughing.
And we were like, it's not.
I was funny. Like, bro, like, I'm actually trying to have like this. You married us. This kind of your fault, bro.
You were like, it's not funny.
I literally said that to him. He was dying. But anyway.
Oh man.
We digress. Let's get into the story. Like, I want to dig into like your thoughts, your feelings, like your reflection on the whole that whole season of our life, because I think it could help some people. So why don't we start by like just walk us through. We're at the 20-week appointment. For people who aren't pregnant or have never been pregnant or don't know what that means, like, walk us through all of that and the importance of it, and then like what was going through your mind at that time.
Yeah, so the anatomy scan is what you typically have at your 20-week mark when you're pregnant. And in that is, I remember walking into the appointment and saying to you, like, oh, this is when we can confirm the gender. We had already done the blood work, so we knew what the gender was at this point. But I was like, oh, we get to confirm the gender. And then I just also said, I remember I said out loud, this is also where we could find out if anything's wrong with the baby, or when someone would find out. Like, I didn't anticipate anything being wrong, but I remember saying that.
Yeah.
And you were just kind of like, okay, like, you know, because you had never even been in an ultrasound. Like, I had, because like my sister had been pregnant before, and I had been in ultrasounds before. And so we go in and everything is seemingly okay. They confirm the gender. We're like, look how cute. He's moving so much.
Yeah.
And I believe our ultrasound tech was like, oh, he's moving a lot. Like, I can't get a picture of his heart. Yeah. And so we weren't thinking anything about it really until she was like, let me go get the doctor. And still, you and I were like oblivious. We were just like, okay.
Yeah.
And then the doctor comes in and she just tells us like, hey, it looks like, you know, your son is missing a portion of his heart. We can't make the formal diagnosis here, so you'll need to go over to Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
And so we got an appointment, thankfully, the next day with Vanderbilt. But in that 24 hours, we were both in complete shock. And like, what? Like, I think for me, I was like, what did I do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how did I cause this? Like, is it my fault? Like, what, did I take something? Did I eat something? We were on our honeymoon when I got pregnant. I was like, did I eat too much sushi? Which is crazy because mercury is the worry about sushi. It has nothing to do with that. But in my mind, I was like, what did I do? You know what I mean? Like, I must have caused this kind of thing.
Right.
And I'm not sure. What were you thinking when we got that?
Man, I was like, dang, so he ain't going to the league anymore?
That was your first thought?
No, I was just like, nah, that was my first thought. I'm kidding. I think I didn't know what to think.
I think we were both also standing in faith, like that it was wrong, or like not.
We were. I remember that. I remember that. Yes.
Like, we were like, no, we're going to go tomorrow, and they were going to be like, oh, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Ooh, you hitting on something real heavy there. Like, talk about it. Like, talk about believing something wholeheartedly in faith and it not turning out.
You know, what's crazy about that is I still believe that.
Yeah.
Even after all of these surgeries, this is kind of fast forwarding. But even after all these surgeries, this echo we went to the past week, I was like, I'm going to walk in, and I just envisioned him, Dr. Para, coming in and being like, I've never seen this before.
Yeah.
Calling it some medical name where the body heals itself or whatever.
Yeah.
I like truly still believe it. Every appointment. Like, that's how much I have faith.
Yeah.
But even if he's still good and his heart is great and he's functioning at normal, you know, no limitations.
That's right.
Still, I did have that faith then, and I still have it now that he's going to be healed on this. I don't know if it's going to be on this side of heaven or the other, but I just remember being like, I'm not accepting this. Like, I rebuke it in the name of Jesus, you know? And then, So the next day we go into the appointment. They kind of explain what's going on. They sit us down in this little room and give us a water or whatever. They draw the heart out on this piece of paper, and he's explaining it all to us. And of course, I'm like distraught. Like, I'm just like, oh my gosh, how are we going to get through all of these surgeries? And I'm also grateful at the same time, because I'm like, oh, like, we have insurance, we have solid jobs, like, we can do this. You know what I mean? Like, we have family, like, I wasn't like, what are we going to do? And all I could think about was the other people that don't have any of those things. And I just remember being like, what do people do if they have no job or insurance and they find this out? Like, I was like, I can't even fathom.
And on top of that, though, remember, babe, like, we would be in there and there would be people from literally all over the country.
Oh, and we lived 20 minutes away.
And we lived 20 minutes away. There were people there driving hours, flying in for these one appointment to appointment that could potentially get canceled, moved.
Yeah.
And they, like, their whole life was flipped upside down just from a logistical standpoint.
Right. And not to downplay how hard it was, but I just remember feeling like overwhelmingly grateful for like what we did have.
Yeah.
But in that appointment was the time that he said, we were just talking and I was like upset and you were totally fine.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the appointment, he was like, you said like, so like, what about sports and stuff like that? And he was like, well, you know, he can play them, but I wouldn't expect him to go to the NFL or like be the next Michael Phelps or something like that.
Yeah.
And that is when you got upset.
I was about to fight him. You ain't about to speak that over my son. If my son want to go to the league, he going to the league.
Yeah. And I guess I was like, I mean, what if he wants to be a chef? I don't even care about the NFL right now. Like, our son's about to have multiple surgeries.
I mean, listen, I'm not my head's not in the clouds. Like, the likelihood that any of our kids anyone goes professionally in sports at all is like less than 1%. Like, the odds are 100% against you. I think in that moment, it was like, all right, I'm already hearing all this stuff about the challenges of his heart. And then like, I felt like I was down. Like, I felt like he was kicking a man while he's down. Like every father, at least all my boys, like who play sports and grew up playing sports, like every father dreams of coaching their kids' little league team or football team and all that stuff. And so like, it felt in that moment like he was ripping all that stuff away from me as if he was God to make the final decision. Now, let me just say this. I love our doctor. Dr. Pear is amazing. Yeah. And I would not want to work with anyone else. But in that moment when I'm like getting all this information and then also I'm being told like, yeah, he probably ain't going to play sports or anything like that. Like, I was hot. I was not having it.
And then I was just frustrated with you because I was like, that's what you care about, like out of all of this. And so I was like, he doesn't even care that he has to have all these surgeries. He cares about the fact that he's not going to the NFL. So I was like a little like upset about that.
Yeah.
But, you know,
totally.
So that was the anatomy scan.
Anatomy scan. That's good. That was the anatomy scan.
Finding out.
Yeah. And just how, it's wild. Like, I feel like even just thinking through that, I have a tough time putting words to how I was feeling because I really think I didn't sit in it like you sat in it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I kept it kind of moving, and I also kept believing like, you know, things are gonna turn around. Like by the time he's born, like the Lord's gonna correct all this stuff, and it's not even gonna be a thing. So why am I stressing? It's reflecting back on it now, I think is how I was kind of approaching it.
Yeah.
Which kind of left me a little bit disconnected from you because of how you really sat in it.
Totally.
And so like, let's talk about like after the anatomy scan, like let's move to like when he was born.
Yeah. Well, I remember when we were pregnant, we were still believing that everything would go well. But of course, after you get a diagnosis, you turn to Google like everyone does, which is a terrible idea.
Horrible idea. Don't do that.
But I went to Google and everything with his diagnosis was just like death or made it to 6 months and then, you know what I mean? Like didn't make it, and all of these other diseases and everything linked to it. And it was detrimental really. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is so much worse than he was making it sound, like all this stuff. And I just felt the Holy Spirit was like, that's not your story. And I immediately felt convicted, and I was like, okay, like to get off the internet, like to not Google it again. And from that day on, I just was like, I'm not going to Google anything. Like, I'm not going to look up any of the surgeries. I'm not going to look up, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just going to leave it because it's not my story. And he has proven that to be true.
Yeah.
And what was the question? Sorry.
No, it was just around like, I was talking about like, let's talk through, now that we talked about like what we experienced at the 20-week anatomy scan, fast forwarding to like when he was born. And then you were talking about all the stuff that you just said. So no real question. You're just kind of reflecting. That's good.
Yeah.
So like when he was born, or like leading up to when he was being born, you know, we're still believing.
Yeah.
I remember like me and you are in faith. Like we are warring in the spirit, believing that our son is going to have a miraculous healing of his heart. He's born and that didn't happen.
Right. Yeah. So thankfully when he was born, it was still miraculous. He didn't need any medication.
Yeah.
He went to the NICU. He really didn't need the NICU team. Like they were even like, I mean, he's pretty perfect.
Yeah.
Like nothing's, you know what I mean? Aside from his heart, like everything was functioning really well. He got to eat normally. He got to sleep normally. Like there was they had an IV in, but only for like in case of emergency, which was totally an answered prayer.
Yeah.
And then on day 7, we had another miraculous thing happen. We were supposed to have surgery that morning. At the last second, they came in and said, never mind. And we were shocked and yelled, what? And actually got to go home that day, which was such a blessing. So we went home. We got to have 2 months at home with our baby. And then, so then he had a surgery at 6.5 months and then another one at the most recent one at age 3 or so. And in that time, to talk about like our marriage in that time, throughout each surgery, I felt like it was really difficult because we handle grief in different ways and we handle like stressors in different ways. So I was like sitting in it, like letting the hard be the hard, like, you know what I mean? Like not trying to like push it away. And I feel like we're very much so like just turning to your work and kind of like.
Yeah, that was an escape for me.
Right.
It was definitely an escape for me. Looking back at it now, that's definitely how I dealt with like the challenge of walking through what we were walking through.
Yeah.
I remember taking like work calls in the hospital.
Oh.
Like I was on meetings. I was not rescheduling anything. I was having all my calls in the hospital. Like call me if the doctor says anything important type stuff.
Yeah, even if the doctor was in the room, you would be on the phone.
I would. Like, look, I was such an idiot. Like, but like, I think for me, that's how I was kind of like just handling, like not really dealing with the reality of what we were walking through. And then also like, we got to remember we're really early on into our marriage. Like this is all new.
It was.
Like we're not even a year married yet.
Right.
And so like, the way that we communicate, the way that, you know, I show up for you emotionally, like those things were like still up in the air.
Being developed.
They were definitely we were still
learning how to communicate.
100%. Like at that point, like I was still about me. I was still worried about me. And like, if you had asked me then, I would have told you that I wasn't selfish. But looking back at it now, you know, 60 or some odd years later, like 100% I was selfish. Like there's a lot I would have changed about how I approached that season, especially as it pertained to our marriage. Because I wasn't there for you the way that I wish I would have been, or I would be like now today.
Right.
But you know what? Like that's the beauty of in sickness and in health. And that's the beauty of also like compassion and grace and humility.
Right. Yeah.
And you showing me that in the midst of my, you know, immaturity.
Yeah. And I don't know that I did a perfect job. It definitely led to a lot of bitterness on my end.
Yeah.
And like resentment that I didn't even realize I was carrying until one of my sweet friends called it out in me.
Yeah.
And I was able to repent for it and like apologize to you and all of that stuff for carrying it. And how much lighter I feel after that.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother word. But so I don't feel like I did it perfect either. I think I thought I was doing it perfect and we were doing it wrong. And I held myself to this, like, I know how to grieve and you don't. And that's not the right way to grieve. Like, it's important to like hold space for the other person to handle it the way that they're handling it.
Yeah.
And not to have those types of arguments then. You know what I mean? Because neither is right or wrong. It's just different.
Right.
And as we've spoken about before, like we are very different people, like you and I. So we handle everything differently.
Yeah.
Of course. course.
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of grace that needs to be had in marriage, and especially when you're walking through something difficult. And it doesn't even need to be like a medically challenged child. Like you can talk, finances or death of a friend or a family, whatever. Like any type of pain that you're walking through as a married couple. Sorry, I'm getting a little distracted because our landscaper is here weed eating. So I don't know if
currently at this moment.
Sorry, y'all. I'm gonna just keep rolling. Hopefully,
that's frustrating.
Y'all are hearing this.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. We just gonna keep it rolling.
Yeah.
I think we were kind of talking about some of the lessons we learned, what helped, what didn't help. Like, talk to me about that. Like, as you reflect back on that season of our life, what are some of the things that you think that we did well, and some of the things? Well, talk from your perspective.
Well, just like I was saying, I mean, I kind of like thought I was doing everything so well, but I really, looking back, I'm like, I just thought that I knew what I was doing. But I think that was just obviously like a coping mechanism, like a trauma response to just step up and be the perfectionist that I grew up to be. Instead of just like allowing myself to make mistakes. I definitely didn't accept help in the way that I should. And I think that's really hard for moms and or just women in general to like accept help. Like if people offer you help to like give it, but I felt like I had to do all of it and be all of it. And it was really unhealthy. I do feel like in that season though, the Lord like really taught me how to pray because I didn't, aside from, I mean, it's not that I didn't know how to pray. It's that I didn't know how to pray. You know what I mean? I don't know how to say it other than to say that.
Yeah.
But I really learned how to actually like war in the spirit and like actually like declare things into the atmosphere, like more like intercession prayer, as opposed to like just like, Lord, please, like desperation type prayers. Like I was like, no, like in the name of Jesus, And I think it taught me, and I thought in the Lord in his kindness, I like to do things for other people. I started this like prayer board and I would like ask people prayer requests every week.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so that I could pray for other people. But really the Lord was like, I need to teach you how to pray. And if this is the way to do it, to get you to pray for other people, because you're bad at praying for yourself, then I'll do it that way. And I've learned that now, but back then he like in his kindness, he like used it as a way for me to help others because he knew that I would do it. It was about others and not about me. And since then I've now like been like, no, like I have to go in the spirit for myself. So I really learned how to do that. And it took being in that desperate place, to like really, really like stretch that muscle to like learn how to pray in that way.
That's really good. I honestly, like, I don't know that I learned anything in that moment. It's like now that I feel like the lessons are coming, now that I'm able to kind of look back.
Totally.
And honestly, and this is the way that I am. Like I'm pretty hard on myself. I critique myself pretty harshly. And so like I can point out 15 things that I did wrong, and it's hard for me to like point out, oh, like, no, but I actually got that part right. Right. And so like when I'm thinking back at it, all I'm thinking about is like how self-centered I was, how like annoyed that I was with you being so emotional all the time. And like I even got frustrated, like kind of thinking like, why is she so upset? Like, why is she so emotional about this? Like, we're having faith, we're believing in faith that this is he's gonna be fine. Like he's if he's not gonna be healed, the Lord's gonna work it out some other way. Like, why is she still upset about this? I remember having these feelings of frustration that like I felt like you weren't on the same
I was like, why is
me.
he not upset about this?
Yeah, you were like, why are you not upset? Like, are you some robot? Like, where's your heart type of thing? Yeah. So like, it was just, again, like we just handled and approached it differently. I don't know that any one way was right or wrong, but what I do know is now, you know, that we're 6 some odd years later, like we both understand that we handle things differently, and
pretty
that's
much
okay.
everything. Yeah. Except date nights.
That me and you, we right here on date nights. Yeah, we right there. We locked in.
Yeah.
But like, biggest lesson is just like giving the other person space and holding space for the other person to kind of like deal with things how they kind of deal with it. As long as we end up coming back together on it and finding common ground in it, I think Like, that's good.
Yeah. And I think there's a way to correct with humility as opposed to like, in the moment, I wanted to correct you, but I wanted to do it like, and like, you're doing this wrong, not like from a humble place.
Yeah.
And I think that's definitely a word, because you know what I mean? When you feel like you're right, you just want the other person to be like, no, you're right. Like, I was doing it all wrong or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But that wasn't where I was coming from. You know, I wasn't saying it from like a humble way. I was saying it from like a, what is wrong with you way, which is, even though you're saying right now that you handled it wrong, it was still wrong of me to like, I wasn't using the fruits of the Spirit to tell you that you were wrong, you know, but I think there is a way to do that.
Yeah.
I just didn't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Because I was like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, 100%. And I think like when you walk through stuff like this, the biggest thing for me, you know, and obviously I probably should have gave this disclaimer at the top of the episode of the show, whatever, of the conversation. Like, we are not marriage experts.
No.
We are not marriage therapists. We're not licensed in anything.
I hope no one thinks that.
And I hope no one thinks that. All I'm doing is talking about our experiences and how we handled them. Right?
Yeah.
And so like one thing that that I would say is that, like, I lost my train of thought.
Oh no.
I lost it. It'll come back.
Holy
Lord,
Spirit.
touch my mind
right
now and bring back what the point I was going to make.
We were talking about correction and fruits of the Spirit and how.
Yep. Oh, this is what I was what I was going to say. Like, when you're going through challenges in general with a spouse or significant other, whatever, the way you make it through is swallowing your pride and your ego as much as you possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
It's some of the best marriage advice that I ever got from our marriage counselors. Like, yo, like, are you willing to humble yourself for her?
Yeah.
Is she willing to humble herself for you?
Yeah.
If you both answer yes to that question, there's not much you can't make it through.
Right. And try to outserve each other.
Yeah. And so like, I'm like reflecting on that, and I'm just like, you know what, where I feel like I went wrong and where you feel like you went wrong, the common denominator for us is, I think we're sitting here today because we were at some point able to humble ourselves to actually see the other person,
right?
And hold space for how they were processing a real, like, an impossible situation.
Right.
You can't be prepared for something like that.
Right. And I think where I learned how to not only communicate, but like to call you up. So even if you weren't acting in the way that I knew you should have been, or like had the capacity to, instead of being like, you're doing this wrong, a way to like call you up is like, man, you lead so well. Like, you served me so well today. Like, you know, you're so gentle and like all of those things, as opposed to being like, why are you not gentle? Like, why are you not, you know what I mean? Like, that is not patience, you know, instead of like saying you're not these things, like calling you up into those things. And that is,
even if you don't really see those things, right? Because like
prophesy it. Yeah.
You prophesy, you speak it over your husband. And I'm speaking for the guys out there, like, we're like golden retrievers getting our ears scratched.
Yeah. Well,
when we hear stuff like that, it's like a oh, okay, like,
no one changes from shame, right?
Nah,
like,
that's good.
No one has ever been shamed into loving someone more.
Man, talk to him, mate.
So I'm like,
right now.
I learned like, hey, I need to like call him up, call out the good things, call out what the Lord has made him and how he has made him, instead of trying to make him fit into this like box that I felt like you needed to be.
Yeah.
And so instead I was just like, well, what does the word say? And how can I call him up into that? You know? And I feel like without even really, and it wasn't like I was trying to manipulate the situation.
No.
It was just, I was trying to empower you to lead in the way that I knew that you could.
Areas that you knew I could definitely improve in.
Right.
That not just would serve you, but would also help me become the man that the Lord has always created me to be.
Right. And also, this just came to me, but I feel like in hard times like this, like going through something really hard is when you really build intimacy. Like, because when you've gone through something really difficult, like for instance, us being in that room when they called and said like Cannon hey, he's bleeding out. Like, we've resuscitated him all night. We have to go back in and do another surgery. And like us being together in that room, holding hands, praying together, feeling the peace of the Lord, but also you not knowing what was going to happen. And then them calling us back and saying they found what the problem was and that they fixed it and he's no longer bleeding out and he has a heartbeat again. Was that forges intimacy. And the fact that we got to the other side of that, I think it helped us realize each other's hearts. Like, even though you may say one thing, like, I know your heart and your heart is good. And it is, you do think the same things I do. You just show it differently. And that's okay. You know what I mean? And I had to be like, I don't need him to say the thing. I know that his heart is with me in this. You know what I mean? And going through hard stuff helps you to realize that. And I feel like it forges like more intimacy in your marriage as well, you know? No,
that's good. Man, you preaching to me right now, man. That's really, really good. It's really good. I think just like overall, when I'm thinking about what lessons can be taken from this, aside from the stuff that we just, kind of talked about, I think the biggest thing that we all have to realize is, as long as we draw breath on this side of eternity, you are going to walk through fire. You're going to walk through pain. There's going to be hardships. There will be hurdles to jump. There will be mountains to climb. That is inevitable. And so knowing this, the question becomes like, how do we go through these things? Because let's be real. Like, we as humans, we love good stories. We love stories where the hero wins. But in order for the hero to have a triumphant story of victory, there has to be a battle. There has to be a fight.
Everybody wants a victory.
Everybody wants a victory.
The battle part, not so much.
Battle part,
I've been there.
I'm about to say, I speak for myself.
Please, no more battles.
I'm like, I don't had enough fights. I'm cool for a minute. Like, can I just coast type of thing? And that's not how life works.
That tells me I probably need another one.
You know what I mean? Like, that's not how life works. And so, like, we all want to be the hero, but we forget, like, in order to be the hero, you got to slay the dragon.
You got to win something.
Right? Like, there has to be a monster to fight.
Right.
There is no triumph without a trial.
Right.
There is no mountaintop without a valley.
Right.
And so, like, when I'm thinking about the challenge of this particular season that we walk through, it's like we came out on the other side of it with more strength because of the weight of that situation that was on us. And so true strength is built from weight, from resistance. No resistance, no strength. No pain, no strength. No trial or tribulation, no strength. And so if you want to forge strength and come out on the other side of it stronger than you went into it, the absolute only way to do that is to walk through these situations. And the thing is you find out more about yourself in those situations than you do on mountaintops and when everything is rosy and rainbows and pots of gold. Like, it's in the fire that you are forged. It's in the crushing that fortitude is built. And so that's one of the biggest things that I would encourage anybody listening out there that's going through a challenge. Is like, yo, this is happening for you, not to you. And I don't want to make light of pain. I don't want to make light of it. It doesn't mean that it's not hard and that I don't empathize. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm actually trying to do is encourage and just say, like, you will make it to the other side as long as you continue to put one foot in front of the other and keep going. And that's what we did. We decided to choose each other, and we decided to put our faith in the Most High and believe that his plan was for our good. And the cool thing is we didn't see the miracle the way that we thought it, but this whole situation in and of itself was a miracle. Him going home after 4 days post-op when we were supposed to be there 2 weeks, that's a miracle.
It is.
Him being born, and we were supposed to go right into surgery as soon as he was born, but we got to go home for 3 whole months before his first surgery and have that time together. That's a miracle. And so
the fact that he's breathing at 100% oxygen right now
is a miracle. And he's got half a heart. It's wild.
I just want to piggyback off that, because something that came to my mind is, like, if somebody's watching this and has something going on with their child, but they're like, it's not that bad. Like, it's not heart surgery bad, or, you know what I mean? Like, we're managing it well.
It's good.
We had a surgeon that was sitting in the room with us, and I remember saying that, like, I'm just grateful that it's not worse, because there's other heart conditions that are significantly worse. And if you are walking through something that is significantly worse, like, our hearts are with you in that.
Yeah.
And we get it to the best of our ability. But our surgeon said to us, like, no, that's not true. The hardest condition is whatever your child has. Like, that's the hardest one.
Yeah.
And even if it's not a heart condition, even if it's something really small or that you may think is really small, it's still the hardest one, because that's the one that your kid has.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to not downplay what your heart is just because there's harder out there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's good. You cannot compare your pain with someone else's.
Right. Because it's just different.
It's different.
Hardships look different, and different seasons. And just one last thing before we finish out. I know that a lot of people, when you have a child with a medical condition, or whether it's your first or your third or whatever, a question I get all the time is, how did you decide to have more kids? And thinking back, I don't really remember what you were thinking when we were having our second. You just knew you wanted more than one kid.
Yeah,
like,
I knew.
So you were like, okay, we might as well just do this.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah, because I mean, to be honest, what I was thinking, I was like, all right, we got a boy, like, I want a girl.
Right.
So let's go ahead.
That's what
let's
you were
go ahead
thinking.
and do this.
So for me, I remember even in our marriage, in our vows, our pastor said, Brianna Responsible Briley, because I am like a rule follower. I'm misresponsible. And I was like, I don't want to do this again.
Yeah.
If that means I have to go through this and like all these surgeries and like whatever. I remember even asking our doctor, like, hey, like, how frequent does this happen? And he was like, if you need permission, like, the answer is yes. Like, it's very rare. It's just as rare as him getting it as it would be for another kid. Like, it wasn't genetic. So he was like, my answer is yes, if you want to do that. And I was praying about it because I felt all this fear surrounding having another one and having to go through more heart surgeries or more whatever.
Yeah.
And I just remember the Lord being like, even if, haven't I carried you through this? Like, even if you have another baby and it has a heart condition, like, don't you trust that I'm going to be there and I'm going to carry you through it and I'm going to give you the peace and the provision and whatever it is. And I was like, like, you're right. And I think we just made the decision pretty immediately. And the same with our third, we were just like, nope, like, it's going to be fine, you know?
Yeah. Well, you had to pray for me for that third. It took a little bit. Took a little bit longer.
The Lord told me, but the Lord gave you peace.
Man, he ain't told me we were supposed to have 3 kids.
Oh, but he's your bestie now.
He is. That is. Oh, I love my little boy.
Yeah.
My little Shay boy.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. I love it. Well, to wrap it up.
Yeah.
This was a great conversation. Really good conversation. So if you're listening to this and this resonates, please reach out. If you want prayer, anything, like, we'd love to.
If you're walking through something like that,
I'd
love
hear
to
from
pray
y'all.
with you. And I also love your hat, babe. I feel like we're going to get a lot of questions about your hat.
Yeah, I'm going to have to keep it on the
I'll put the link in my bio. I'm just kidding.
Sure, maybe I have to get a little commission off it. Something like that, some affiliate marketing.
Oh, you're funny.
Anyway, love y'all. We'll talk soon.
Bye.